Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a review for you guys on a fragrance I've had in my collection for a few months now, but it's one that I really wanted to wear through so I could give you guys the most honest and comprehensive review I could possibly give you. And it's going to be on Soir from Maison Kurkdjian. I'm also going to have a little giveaway where I'm going to be giving away a sample of this fragrance as well, and the info for that will be at the end of this video. But rules will also be listed below if you don't want to watch it. If you don't want to sit through the entire video to get to the rules. So rules will be below. But I did really want to kind of let you guys know what I think about this fragrance and why I wanted to take my time with reviewing this. So if you want to know what I think, then keep watching. If you guys are unaware, I really enjoy Kurkdjian. He is probably my favorite nose. I really seek out his creations. I really love his point of view when it comes down to fragrance. Collect Kurkdjian. A little bit more than I should. I definitely seek out pretty much anything he makes and I'll blind buy it just to have it as part of my collection. There's a few other noses that I do that with, and I'm going to do an entire video where I talk about my favorite noses. But I think most of my channel I'm more vocal about Kurkdjian. So when I got this fragrance, I've got this fragrance a few months ago. A lot of people have reviewed this fragrance. It's only a year old. It's been out since 2016. And I wanted to make sure that I did this review correctly, because all the reviews I've seen out there and all the praise that it gets is well deserved. So if I was going to review this fragrance, if I was going to talk to you guys about this fragrance, I kind of wanted to give you guys my own special little spin on it and tell you why I like it so much, because you could easily read any of the other reviews. There's a kitty up here, he just jumped. So you could easily watch any of the reviews and not have to worry about my review. So I kind of wanted to give you guys my own unique perspective on this fragrance. Normally when I review fragrances, I like to keep my opinions and my biases out of the reviews unless I feel like there's something that is wrong with the fragrance or right about the fragrance that deserves praise, and it's something that I particularly really like. He's getting wiggly. This is Pancakes. He's the most frequent member on my channel. So I'm going to let you guys know what I think about the fragrance. I'm going to give you a quick little mini review and I'm going to talk about why I like it so much. So this is Pancakes. He's being really good, but he's really wiggly. I promise you I have 5 cats, but he's the one that is the least camera shy. In fact, he likes to rub his butt on the camera, so sorry about that. So let's talk about Soir. Let's talk about the notes. The notes in this are Labdanum, Benzoin, Tonka, vanilla, and somewhat of like an amber accord. Now, it's not, to me, it doesn't really come off as like a straight amber. It does come off as something that's like created to be ambery. But I could be wrong, I could be right, I don't know. But just how I feel about it is it's not just like amber. There is something about this that isn't quite amber. When I get into the fragrance and tell you about my thoughts about it, I'll kind of explain that a little bit more. When it comes down to the longevity of this fragrance, it's one of the fragrances from Kurkdjian that actually lasts a really long time. Generally, I get about 4 to 6 hours with most of his fragrance. Baccarat Rouge and Oud Cashmere Oud tend to stick on my skin for about 10 to 12 hours. This one's really nice. I get about 8 to 10 hours of wear with this, so it does last a good long while. It has about a medium projection, which means it's just arm's length, but for the type of fragrance it is, I wouldn't want it to be too much louder. So now that I think that it performs and it projects really well, let's talk about the praise it gets and why I feel like I wanted to kind of come at this more personally rather than just tell you about how it like develops on the skin and the notes and things like that. Generally, everyone that has reviewed this fragrance, minus like 1 or 2 people, have given it a lot of praise, and I think that it's really well deserved. It's a really beautiful, syrupy, sweet experience. But what I like about it, and this is what really draws me to this fragrance and really just makes me go crazy for it, like obsessed with this fragrance, is the fact that it is the perfect blend of sweet and syrupy and heavy, and in no way is it a heavy fragrance. It's actually quite effervescent. I really like it when fragrances are really well balanced and it doesn't quite go one way or the other, especially when you read the notes. Now when you read the notes in this sounds like your other run-of-the-mill vanilla amber fragrance. And I love those. I've got probably over a dozen fragrances in my cabinet that I'm looking at right now that are your run-of-the-mill vanilla amber fragrance. It's a powerful combination. In fact, right here, this is just amber. I like just amber. I've talked about these on before. These little amber, like solid perfumes and like the soapstone. I love these. I love that thick, sweet amber, the resinous, super resinous, ambery feeling that amber fragrances have, and I love it paired with vanilla. They're like chocolate and mint, you know, just perfectly goes together. I know some people don't like chocolate and mint, and I want to know who hurt you. Who hurt you? But when it comes down to this particular fragrance, I was worried because you've got like Pour la Soirée, and you've got your other, I'm mispronouncing everything, I'm really sorry. You've got your other fragrances from other houses that are like resinous and ambery and warm and sweet. And what sets this apart to me is the body of the fragrance. It's not heavy, it's not overpowering. It's kind of more sheer and transparent. It's really quite a beautiful fragrance, how it's like lightly dancing on your skin and not so much sitting really heavily on your skin and creating like, it's not like you poured maple syrup on your skin, I guess is what I'm saying. It's more of like a light dusting of sugar on a pancake rather than maple syrup. I'm really hungry right now, guys, and I really want to eat pancakes, so that's the feeling of this video. But that's what I like about this fragrance, and that's where I think the amber accord comes into play. Again, I could be completely incorrect. It could be amber and not an amber accord, but this doesn't pull straight like an amber note, like a heavy resinous amber note. One of the most beautiful amber fragrances I've ever smelled in my life is, I believe, Ohiara. Ohiara is a beautiful, rich, heavily resinous amber fragrance. It's very expensive. That's why I don't have it in my collection, but it is on my must-buy list whenever I have an extra $700 or $800 or $900, however much it's going for at this point. I have a little sample of it from Lucky Scent, just a little one. But that's beautiful and rich and heavy and resinous. And then you have the other like really heavy amber fragrances too, or like patchouli, vanilla amber. This is not those fragrances. It's light, it's airy, it's effervescent, but it still has a rich deepness to it. And I like the fact that it's not crazy complex as well. A lot of times with the vanilla amber combo fragrances, they all kind of smell the same, and rightfully so. Vanilla is a very strong note in fragrances, specifically when it's paired with amber. Same thing with amber. It's a very strong note in fragrances, especially when paired with vanilla. They're like a powerhouse. You can't really smell anything else. You might be able to mix some incense in there, maybe some rose and some oud, and like create something really magical, but you're still gonna get vanilla and amber, even when you add those other really strong fragrances, notes into the fragrance. So when you try to do things that are too complex, and when you try to add things to make it a little bit more interesting, it tends to get lost and it almost feels a little bit lazy. And it's not that those fragrances are lazy, it's just that you don't need the vanilla amber in those fragrances to really create that complexity. You could just have one or the other to add a little bit of warmth or a little bit of resinous, or just kind of round everything out. But when they're together, that's where you kind of lose anything else you try to do with it other than a warm, syrupy, gourmandy fragrance. And that's ultimately what I really like about this fragrance. I like that it's not a heavy fragrance. I like that it's not an overpowering fragrance. I like that it's dancing on your skin and not kind of like sticky. I like the fact that it's a little bit lighter and not so overpowering. And I know those are kind of the same things. But when you smell this fragrance, because it's a little bit lighter, you're actually able to really appreciate the tonka. You're really able to appreciate the benzoin. You're really able to pick out those resinous notes in the amber, and still appreciate the warmth and sweetness of the vanilla. When it comes down to this particular fragrance, I really think that there's something special about it because everything is so meticulously balanced. It's sweet, but not too sweet. It's heavy, but it's also really light. It's got a richness and a depth to it, but it's not too complex. You're actually able to really appreciate each of the notes in this. Because there's not too much going on, you're not getting lost in a sea of notes, which sometimes is really nice. There's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes it's nice to have something that's just got a few things in it that are done amazingly well, and that's why I like this fragrance so much. The beauty of this fragrance isn't so much in its smell, it's in its performance. and its smell. So if it were heavier, I feel like this would be a wash. It would be, you could get something cheaper that smells really nice. But it's because of how it performs. It's because of how it sits on the skin. It's because it's kind of like a clear piece of amber you can look through, rather than something that's muddled and heavily and overly complex just for complexity's sake. And you just get the beauty of all the other notes in this. I think this is a real, ridiculously well put together fragrance that's definitely worth checking out. I know I use definitely a lot, I'm really sorry. So that's my thoughts on Grand Soir. I think it's breathtaking, if you're wondering what my final thoughts are, especially for someone who really likes vanilla fragrances, that really likes amber fragrances, and has a lot of them in her collection, and constantly like has to talk myself out of getting different amber fragrances because I have so many. I tried this. At first I wasn't too sure why everyone really loved it, but once you wear it and it kind of sits on your skin, you kind of get why people really appreciate this. So I love it a lot. Performance wise, it's spectacular. Projection wise, it's spectacular. Price for other Kurkdjian fragrances, it's pretty good. So generally overall, I think this is a solid fragrance from the House of Kurkdjian if you wanted to get one of his fragrances, if you're not into his kind of like musky citrus fragrances that he's known for that I love, but you didn't know if you really wanted to jump into his ouds. This is a great one to try. It's just high quality, really beautiful, and I love it. So enough of me talking the same sentence but rewording it 6 or 7 different ways. Let me talk about the giveaway, and as always my giveaways are pretty straightforward. It is a international giveaway, anyone can enter. It does not cost anything to enter. However, if you win internationally and I ship this to you and there's any duties, fees, or taxes, you are responsible for them. But I cannot for the life of me think why there would be any for a little sample. Yeah, that's right. Today I've only got a little sample to share with you guys, but I've been holding on to this. And when I tried the sample, before I got this, I had like 3 of these and I wore through 2, and I was gonna wear through this one, then I just ended up buying this one day. So I have this one left, so I have this for you to try. Now this is an eau de parfum. This is, I believe, 2 ml. Yeah, 2 ml sample. And you have to be a subscriber to my channel, and you have to be entered, which means below in this video, you have to say, please enter me to the contest. And that's it. Just subscribe and, let me know that you'd like to enter the contest. If you've entered before and won, you're still eligible. And if you would like to win this little Grand Soir giveaway, then just let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, guys, if you like my videos and you like me, don't forget to subscribe because it's free. And I'm free, and I haven't done this cheek thing in a while. And I put it in videos every Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends as well. So I'll always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever. I'll see you next time. Bye.